Islam's ethics are based upon Allah's will, and that's bad. And
It's bad because you say so.
Yep. And if
Ding, 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 ding. It's bad. Don't point your finger at me if you don't want it back in your face. You gotta chill, okay?
I'm defending my country from becoming
How? By burning someone's book?
no, by informing citizens here about the Islam problem.
The fact that you think makes you a mighty macho man by making a macho man by burning someone's holy book, by harming someone's beliefs and values.
Again, you won't let me answer.
You think that's okay? That's what you want, huh? Clout chasing. You just want to do something to check
Please
people's.
stop interrupting.
Listen, don't raise your voice at me and think that's going to be okay. I'm not one of these dudes over here. You understand me? I'm not the one.
I will.
I'm not the one.
I will.
You don't want that.
And
You don't want it with me. You don't want the
want
smoke with
me.
me. I'm not one of these people.
You
You
want-
feel me? I'm not one of these people. I'm a little different.
Muslim, my wife, it's
Who? Who f***ed your wife?
the Muslim.
Your Muslim
Then
f***ed your wife?
When Muslims, our women, it is okay because Muhammad was.
You're not a man, really. Nah, like you need some
times
more
we
dignity,
lie.
bro.
Most of the
You need
time-
more dignity.
Hey, most of the
Hey,
times.
don't tell me, hey.
Most of the
Don't
times.
tell. Hey, we could cut all this garbage off.
Yeah,
I'm
fine.
not one of them. You understand? I'm not one of them. All right, guys, Street Dawah, you know what it is. We are here right now. Islam Net in the building. Here about to meet this bum of a Qur'an burner. That's his title. Can you believe that he identifies with this? Like, this is how he's getting clout. It's kind of embarrassing. You can pop him right over there. Take a look at him. He's right over there. Yeah. Now, alhamdulillah, we here though, and this dude is literally responsible for helping us build this masjid. So shout out to him for that purpose. But we need to shut this down over here. All right, guys. Okay, what's going on, guys? How we doing? You all right? What's going on? What's your name?
Lars Thorsen.
Lars.
Lars.
This is Lars Thorsen, the infamous Qur'an burner. Lars is the founder of an anti-Islamic terrorist group based out in Norway, who has gained publicity by burning the Qur'an. Lars's act of hatred has single-handedly united the Ummah to help raise over $500,000 to build Norway's first ever Dawah center and Masjid. This is the uncut, heated interaction between me and the Qur'an burner from when I flew all the way from New York to Norway to not only confront him for his devilish acts, but also lead a protest against his evil actions. Guys, as you can tell right now over here, people are protesting and they're not even Muslim. You get what I mean? Like, I don't even know what they're doing, but they know that they're against this type of racist behavior. So do you support this type of behavior?
I support these people's rights.
By burning Qur'ans?
Yes, why not? It is a book. Yes.
It is a book that is very meaningful and close to billions of people. The same way the Bible is, the same way the Torah is, and it is wrong to do it to any book.
Yes, but this is still Norway.
It doesn't make it. Okay, Larry, so what's going on?
What's going on? Well, we're gonna have political stand here talking about the Islam problem.
Islam problem.
Yes.
What's the problem?
The problem is the tenets of Islam.
Tell me about it.
There's a lot of things. There's no golden rule. There's
What do you mean there's no golden rule?
the golden rule is a concept in all the other world religions except Islam.
Really? What's the golden rule?
It tells me to behave towards you like in the same way that I would like you to treat me.
So treat your brother, right? So you have to treat them with goodness. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. But goodness,
Yes.
goodness is
So loving for your brother what you love for yourself.
yes,
So you're saying that Islam doesn't teach that?
yes,
Well, there's a narration that from the Prophet Muhammad that says to love for your brother what you love for yourself.
yes, and
So it says that.
yes, but that's the important distinction here is brother, because Muhammad talks about a brother, aka the other Muslims, not humanity.
So not humanity.
Not humanity, only the brothers.
Okay, so you're saying that this is only applied towards Muslims,
Yes,
and not for general humanity.
that's correct. And you could say that the proof that there is no golden rule is you're talking about the hadith. But if there,
We're talking about a what?
Muhammad says this and that.
Yes.
In a
Hadith.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. But if there had been a golden rule in Islam, you would have found it.
But you keep saying this word of a golden rule, like that's just something you've created. That's not a real thing that you're even talking about, you know? So you just keep mentioning this golden rule again and again, like that makes it realistic when there isn't. You're making up this word yourself about this golden rule. Islam teaches, like, come on, think about it, right? Even from the fact when a woman was feeding a dog and giving them water, that allowed them to earn paradise. So you're talking about how it doesn't allow you to, it only works for Muslims, when that's not even true. Even if you take care of an animal, the Almighty rewards you. So what are you going on about?
And again, you're talking about hadiths, and maybe it's right that a female Muslim earns paradise if she is treating a dog well, but still she's not allowed to treat non-Muslims well.
Tell me the evidence for that.
The Qur'an says that you should, the Muslims are brothers, and they should treat non-Muslims harsh and be kind.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if I was supposed to treat non-Muslims harsh, right, then I wouldn't be having a lot of friends when I'm pretty popular, and I'm pretty popular with everyone over here. And I would find someone who's very orthodox into my religion as well. And if Islam was that violent and dangerous that you talk about, you wouldn't be standing around me right now.
I would, because you can behave differently in different situations.
How so?
Dualism.
But you're doing the same thing right now.
No.
Yes, you are.
I am talking about the Islamic doctrines, and as I said, there's a dualism here which allows you to behave civilized towards me.
So you're saying that there's a dualism that allows me to behave one way towards you and one way towards the other people?
No, it allows you to behave, let me say, normal according to my ethics. Now, when Islam is weak militarily...
Islam is weak?
Yes.
It's the fastest growing religion in the world.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
First of all,
because if it was so weak that you wouldn't be targeting it. If it's so weak, then why are you bothering with this?
I can answer that if you allow me to. First of all, the Islam is growing. Whether it's the fastest growing, that's an argument between Christians and Muslims, and I don't.
It's not an argument. It's a statistical fact.
Some say it. Other.
It's not some. Yeah. This is the world consensus.
Okay, let's find. If we say that that's a consensus, Islam grows because the Muslim females are just instruments to produce new jihadists.
So wait, time 1 second. So you're saying that because females are just having babies, that's the reason it's growing? When it's actually one of the fastest growing religion of acceptance right now. And Christianity, a lot of people tend to leave it and come towards Islam. Why is that?
The Christians say the opposite. So, and
you're a Christian, by the way. I don't know.
No, that's not relevant.
Of course, it's relevant. Of course, because you said about every single religion has a golden rule, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know what religion you follow, but what golden rule do you follow which allows you to do what you're doing?
The human ethics,
what human ethics?
What
human ethics allows you to burn someone's book that's valuable to them, but you don't even do that to a Bible or Torah.
Because I am not the Judaification of Norway. I'm stop Islamization of Norway.
But time 1 second. So you're not. So you've targeted Islam specifically. What's your love and infatuation with Islam? Because you're obsessed with it. It's obvious.
I'm not obsessed with it.
Of course you are.
The problem.
If Islam is so weak, you said it. Islam is so weak. So why are you targeting the weak, right? Why don't you target something that's more growing according to you? Instead, you want to target this weak religion when you know it's not. Instead, you're a clout chaser. That's what you're really doing.
Okay, I'll answer that.
Go ahead.
Islam is not weak on a world basis. Islam is weak in Norway at the moment because there's not that much Muslims. Let's say 10%.
Okay.
But in other areas where Islam is dominating, Islam is strong, of course.
Okay, so the reason you're doing it here is because Islam is weak, but you would never do this in a place where Islam is stronger. Is that what you're saying?
If I did this in a country where Islamic rules apply, Sharia.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that if you're saying that there's a majority of Muslim area, not about a Muslim country, because it's debatable as to what makes it Islamic or Muslim country. But what you're saying is that because there's less Muslims here, you're targeting them here because it's less than 10%. No. That makes you a bully.
No, not at all.
Of course.
Okay, that's your opinion.
No, it's a fact, because a bully is someone who, because they have bigger posture, they're able to target the weak. Therefore, that's the definition of what a bully does, and that's what you're doing.
I'm defending my country from becoming...
How? By burning someone's book?
No, by informing the citizens here about the Islam problem.
So why?
People on theology that commands you to invade and occupy my country.
So you're telling me that the reason Muslims are here right now is because the theology says to invade the country. Is that true?
It's true that the theology tells them to do that, but
So where exactly does it say for us to invade a country and just settle over there?
the Quran says that the whole planet belongs to Allah. The Quran,
Yes.
The Quran says
It's all of the earth belongs to God. You disagree with that? You disagree that the whole, so this earth, right? The country of Norway or anything that has borders on it, it's because people have taken rule of that. But if you really boil it down, all of this, the trees, the earth, the sun, the moon, everything belongs to God. Would you agree?
you have to distinguish here between God and Allah, because that's
Absolutely
two
not.
different,
Absolutely not. You're not only making an opinion, that's a falsehood as well too.
Okay.
I'm saying for God, if you don't want to use the word Allah, that's okay. But I'm saying, are you telling me that the earth and everything in it doesn't belong to God?
That depends on whether the individual, for example me, believes in a God.
Now we're talking. There we go.
If you don't believe in a God, of course,
You don't believe in a God.
I haven't commented on
I could tell you don't believe in a God because a person who believes in God wouldn't behave this
I
way.
will have to correct you because he said the world, the whole planet belongs to God.
Yes. The
regard-
one true God, the God of Abraham.
Yeah,
The God of Abraham, the main
the
God.
problem is that the Quran is quite clear.
See, you keep going back to that, but you avoided the question. Don't avoid the question.
I'm answering the question.
Okay.
And the answer is that there is not only one God. There's several gods.
Oh, so you're saying there's multiple gods.
There's the Christian God, and there's Allah. And
Time out. So you're saying there's a Christian God and then there's Allah, right? So is there a Jewish God?
it's the same guy as the Christians, except that the Christians are basing their moral ethics, their behavior on Christ.
Okay.
And
So what's wrong with that?
nothing. That's fine.
Okay.
But I wasn't finished to emphasize the distinction between God and Allah, because the Quran.
No, that's your distinction about it. The word, what does Allah mean?
This is the second time you're stopping me from.
No, because you're making something that's not true because you don't even know what Allah means.
That's semantics only. So you're trying to distract.
I'm not.
You're not.
I think it's pretty obvious who's distracted.
Let me finish. You keep interrupting me.
Go ahead.
The Quran, chapter 109, verse 1 to 6. If you read that, you'll find that.
Okay, apparently we have a Hafiz of Qur'an over here, guys. Yeah.
So it says that you have your God, we have our God.
See, that's where you see my friend, listen to me.
we don't
Listen,
worship the
Larry.
same God.
Larry, hold on one second, right? When you're talking about this right now, even if you're going to quote something and you're going to make a summary of something, you got to make sure you're doing the correct way, otherwise you look like a bozo.
Okay.
Can't do that, right? Because he's not saying you're God. You have your way of life and we have our way of life. And it is talking
We don't worship the same. That's what
The
it
word
says.
is deen used, Larry. It's deen, Levon. That's what's being used, not God. That's not the word that's being used over here. So you're putting your own interpretation in something, and you're literally looking like a bozo right now.
Fine.
Yeah.
But you could also say that the ethics of Islam
Go ahead.
is the opposite of.
Be kind to your neighbor is a wrong ethic.
That's the non-Islamic ethic. But
How so?
because the ethics of Islam derives from it's based on 100% on Allah's will, the Quran.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So Allah has commanded us to be kind to our neighbors.
only the Muslim neighbors.
False.
We can,
False.
It's
No. That's not a debatable thing. That's false. Because when the Prophet Muhammad was asked about who has rights over you and what neighbors have rights over you, he commanded almost as far as your eye can see. And it wasn't specified that it had to be a Muslim or not. This is your interpretation so that you can twist something in your direction, Larry.
anything. I'm just reading the Quran loud here because
You're not.
The Quran commands Muslims to hate non-Muslims.
It does.
Yeah.
Where does it command? Okay, several. So tell me one of them.
No, but you know.
Can we get his face too so we can look how ridiculous he looks?
I don't. There's how many? 3,800 verses or something.
Just by quoting a number doesn't make you an expert, my friend. Okay, so you don't just have to say 3,000 some hundred. That's a sort of tactic they're using to sound more of an expert. Tell me those several verses that call us to hate other people. Go ahead.
I don't remember them.
But yet somehow you remember that it's something that indoctrinated within you. How about the fact that you have hatred towards Muslims? Why? Why so much hatred towards Muslims?
Allah commands you to hate me, and you
Really? Where? Okay, show me where.
And you have this doctrine of hate. Allah
Still hasn't told me where.
in the Quran.
Where? Okay, you say in the Quran it has 3,000 some hundred. Go ahead. Tell me where. You're saying it's commanding you to hate.
You know this is true because you know the Quran. So you're just.
So you're saying that I know this is true, right? If I knew this is true, I wouldn't be debating this about you. I know that this is a falsehood. Absolutely not. I wouldn't waste my time with this right now.
Okay.
Right now, you've done a
Give me time. I'll find it.
Oh, so now you're gonna Google stuff.
No, but I have some
He
stuff.
has his in his notes, guys. While Levon over here is trying to like look for this over here, guys, be in mind that this man is burning a book that he doesn't even understand himself. He hasn't read it himself fully. With a true, sincere heart, he's already here trying to make distinctions, but doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just pulling up his notes, trying to see where's verses where we're commanded to hate certain people, when that's not even the case. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ never preached that, never commanded that whatsoever. But you know, this man over here, you know, he wants to promote that sort of stuff. So we're gonna wait. Go ahead.
4101. Kafir is a clear enemy for you.
What's a kafir?
That's a filthy infidel.
What is a kafir?
A kafir is a filthy infidel.
You see, this is once again exposing the fact of how ignorant this man is. That's not what a kafir is.
That's fine.
No, that's not fine as in, that's SQ's opinion. That's not what a kafir is. Kafir comes from the root word of someone who actually digs and hides things. It is a person who knows the truth, understands the truth, and still decides to cover the truth. So when you call someone a kafir, it is talking about the people who recited the ayahs of the Qur'an. They understand the language of the Qur'an. They believe that he is the messenger of God and there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, and still they deny it. That's different from an average person who that's different from a person who's walking has no idea of what Islam even is. You see, those are different things. That's not a people of a book. You see, once again, you're proving your ignorance.
The people of the book, which you are commanded to fight, 929.
Okay.
Until we submit and pay jizya or are killed.
Well, if you live in this country, do you pay tax over here?
I do, but I don't.
You do pay tax.
But I don't.
And in the tax, they take you.
Islamic State.
Time out 1 second. If you're in the country of Norway, you're paying tax, correct?
The jizya is not an ordinary citizen tax. You know that.
What is it?
It's a tax.
We have someone who's in fiqh over here. We have a master qadi over here, a sheikh over here. Tell us, what is a jizya?
It's a tax imposed on non-Muslims who live in a country occupied by Muslims.
And what do you get in exchange for paying this tax?
You get protection from the Muslims, so the Muslim don't kill you.
No.
You do, and when you, for example, if you lose your job, you lose your income.
Where did you learn all these things? Like, who's teaching you these corrupt sort of like these interpretations of things? Who's your teacher? Who's your teacher? You're learning this from someone, huh? The Quran, the same Quran that you couldn't quote, and you made a different sort of argument behind it. That same Quran.
I can quote it.
You quoted clearly incorrectly a little earlier before.
No, you're trying to mislead.
I'm not misleading anything. You guys can. Listen. You're being exposed in 4K right now, Larry. You gotta understand. I'm not doing anything. You're making yourself look like a fool. I don't gotta do that, bro. You understand? You're quoting things and interpreting things according to how you want to do it. The truth of the matter is, you want to spread hate. So if you're talking about the Muslim versus you, who's spreading hate? Let's really be honest over here. Who's spreading hate? You or I? You're going and getting someone's book and burning, or is it us who's doing that? You're saying that we're doing something, yet you're the one promoting hatred towards Muslims as well too. When did you realize that you were a child and you wanted to grow up to be a racist?
You have to.
When did you realize that?
You have a bunch of questions, machine gunning questions. It's very hard to answer you.
When did you realize as a child that you wanted to decide to grow up and be a Qur'an burner? Like, did you have people want to be astronauts and engineers when they grow up? You wanted to be a Qur'an burner. Tell me more about that.
That's your.
It's like a child dream of yours. It was like you wanted to like.
It's not. We have been doing a political activism for 19 years before we burnt our first Quran.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
But you're not burning any other book besides the Quran.
we are stop Islamization of Norway.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
So you hate Muslims.
no Muslims and Islam is two different ththings.
What's the difference?
The difference is Islam is a mindset. It's a complete way of life. It's a political system. It has it's political system with
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
war,
No. So what's a Muslim?
war doctrines. It's 164 verses about jihad.
Once again, you're quoting here, trying to sound like an expert. No. You're trying to number drop to sound like you're some expert. You ain't an expert, homie. Let me ask you this: you're saying there's a difference between Islam and a Muslim. What does a Muslim mean?
Muslim is someone who submits to and follows the tenets of Islam.
There we go. So you're saying those two things are separate.
Yes.
How?
Indeed. Because
If you're someone who submits and surrenders to those tenets of Islam, how are those two things separate? You said that Islam and a Muslim are two different things.
the Muslim is made of flesh and blood.
Okay.
And Islam is a mindset. It's a political system for.
It's an Abrahamic faith. It's a faith it's a monotheistic faith that's followed by a third of the world. So a third of the world follows Christianity, another third is Judaism, and a Muslim population is a third, and it's about to be one of the leading populations in the world. I can see why that burns you.
That is not relevant because.
Of course it's relevant.
No.
Of course.
No.
You come to a minority area where there's less than 10% over here because you know no one's going to slap you for doing something like that, and you want over here.
This is my country.
Okay, so do a lot of Norwegian Muslims.
When I was
So do a lot.
When I was born, there were 0% Muslims.
And why is that better for you? Why do you like that?
Because I remember how the country was.
Yeah.
When we didn't have this Islam problem.
Okay. Islam problem.
Yeah.
You keep saying it's a problem when Islam is the reason this GoPro of yours is even able to function. You know that?
No.
Yes,
And that's
because
that's
the
a debate.
rudimentary, no, it's not a debate. You clearly are not knowledgeable enough. The rudimentary algebra needed to even compile this is come from Islam.
It comes from India.
What are you talking about?
But all these
Algebra is it's a Muslim. No.
But okay, but that's clearly.
You are enjoying the inventions of a Muslim, and yet you are here to burn stuff. Is it?
Yes.
Yet your man's is recording things all had to deal with our progression. This world was in the dark ages before Islam.
The Western civilization.
True or false?
The
True or false that this wasn't in the dark ages and the Muslims are the ones who brought the Enlightenment and Renaissance? Tell me, say that's false. Say and make yourself look a fool and say that's false.
That's false, and I'll tell you why.
How so?
How so?
Because because you said so.
The reason we had dark ages in Europe is because the Muslim pirates were blocking the Mediterranean and stopping all trade.
Larry, what are you going on about, man? You're here literally trying to rewrite your own history right now.
And one other important topic on this.
Tell us, please. We're all waiting.
What we're calling the Islamic Golden Age.
Go on.
Islam had a golden age when the Muslims invaded and plundered gold in India and Europe.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, cool, because what did the Christians do with the Crusades? Why won't you mention that?
We'll come to that later.
That's going to come later.
Because it's a consequence of the first. So
Of the first. So wait. So you're saying that Islam was the reason the Crusades took place?
But now you're jumping on topic here.
No, because you're
Yes,
once
we
again.
are.
No, once again, you're looking like
gladly
you're
talk
looking
about-
ridiculous right now, and it's being exposed in 4K right now.
You won't allow me to explain.
Because you're saying like a whole bunch of things that aren't even true. It's not about jumping from topic to topic. Lars, you really don't make any sense. You're deluded in your mind to what the truth is, yet factually you're wrong. You want to go back to the time where there was 0% Muslims, and that's what you like the most. That's what you love. You just love the fact that this was a white place. What are you talking
nothing
about?
to do.
What are you talking about? It was safe.
Because Muslims are extremely overrepresented as killer zombies and sexual predators.
Killer zombies. That's an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. We heard it here first right now. A killer zombie, all right? Tell us what's a killer zombie.
A killer zombie is someone who kills without using the brain, just submitting and obeying.
Got you.
Yep.
Got you. So, would you consider me a killer zombie?
I don't know today. Maybe
You don't
tomorrow.
know? But if I'm a
don't know
Muslim,
yet.
but
I
hold
don't know yet.
you see, that's the problem right there, right? You've made a claim that Muslims are killer zombies. You know I'm a Muslim, yet when I asked you, am I a killer zombie, you said, I don't know you yet. Clearly, you don't know not only Muslims, our doctrine, you don't even know actually represent and spend time with the Muslim to understand what Muslims truly feel and believe. Because if that was in our doctrine, you would have been extinct a long time ago.
No. That's the dualism.
That's the dualism right there. Oh, so it's dualism when you want it to be. Okay.
No. It's when Islam wants it to be.
Really?
It's quite clear. This step by step.
If it's so clear, then why are you finding it so difficult to explain to us? You just mentioned the fact that we were killer zombies. That's what Islam teaches. That's what Muslims are. I asked you if I'm a killer zombie.
I'm not saying that Muslims, as per se, all of them today are killer zombies. But I'm saying that Islam commands them to be killer zombies.
Does it?
Yes.
So if I follow this faith, which I clearly do, why haven't I encountered that verse that calls me to be a killer zombie?
Because it's not the time yet.
It's not the time yet. So it's going to be in activation mode soon?
I don't know when.
You don't know? But we're going to get activated?
As we know, the Qur'an says when you're 10%, you are strong enough to overthrow them and seize power.
Okay, so we're trying to overthrow you and seize power. So what's the end goal?
End goal?
Yeah, what's our end goal according to you?
Not according to me, according to Allah.
Okay, what's that end goal?
That Islam should conquer the whole planet and rule over all people. The goal is not to make all people Muslims. The goal is to dominate the whole planet.
Okay, so if I were to say that Jewish people today control a lot of the economy, Jewish people are controlling a lot of the media, right? What would you have to say about that? Because that's what they're doing. They're dominating right now. So is that not in their doctrine as well too? Tell me more about that.
I don't know whether it's new to me that the Jewish doctrines, as the Old Testament, tells them to dominate Hollywood or banking industry.
Okay, so but they're controlling everything that most of the media and the banking industry is controlled by Jewish people. Okay, so my question to you is this: if you're talking about world domination, it's them. It's not even us. We're not in that. If you look at what's happening in the world, Muslims are the ones getting beaten up. Muslims are the ones who are being oppressed at the moment. So once again, you found that 10% so that you could bully and do whatever you want again. If you're looking at it, we are the ones who are in the worst of conditions at this very moment. So what are you going on about that we're trying to do world domination and all that sort of stuff? We have our own issues that we're trying to fix ourselves, internally within ourselves. So what are you going on about?
I'm going on about the historical facts that shows us that when Islam forces its way into a society...
Force.
Yeah, force.
Force. Yes. Like in Indonesia, Malaysia, when Islam came by business trade.
Indonesia is a very interesting case because that might be the only country.
Was it?
That might be the only country that has been Islamized by demographic warfare.
Demographic warfare. Notice how you're inventing these really cool words, right? Demographic warfare, trying to like scare the people over here. It was business trade that took place over there. They saw how the Muslims operate within their business and they loved that fact.
But what they probably didn't love that much is that the Muslims couldn't let go. That they had to commit genocide there too.
What genocide did Muslims commit in Indonesia?
They killed at least 500,000 communists 51 years ago.
Okay, tell me, if it was up to you right now, how would you eliminate the Muslims?
I'm not out to eliminate Muslims. I'm here to prevent Islam from gaining political power.
If this is in our doctrine, and if according to you, right, if this is in our doctrine and this is prophesied to be true, then no matter what you do, Islam is going to prevail. Don't you think? If this is in our doctrine and we believe that to be true, right? No matter what you do, Islam is going to be successful. So why are you so against something that's already prophesied by God to be successful?
Not God, Allah.
Okay, Allah, but again, you're trying to, hold on one second. You keep trying to say that Allah and God are two separate things. When I asked you what does Allah mean, you were unable to identify and explain.
No, I'm not unable to do that, but...
You are, because if you could, you would have.
It's a distraction.
It's not a distraction, sir. It's pretty obvious right now. No, it's not turning. You've been exposed in 4K camera over here to expose the fact that you don't know what you're talking about. When asked a simple question, you going on about, demographic war warfare and killer zombies. But when asked a simple question about our creed, about what does Allah mean, when I asked you what does a kafir actually mean, you were unable to identify this, yet you say, I know it, then tell us.
What you are trying to do is to...
Oh, goodness. What am I? There is no debate. For a debate to take place, someone of sense and logic has to be there. And I'm sorry to tell you, you don't meet those standards. So I'm asking you, if you knew so much, you'd be able to tell me, what does Allah even mean?
Allah means God, and that's semantic, and
that's not what Allah means.
That has nothing.
But that's not what Allah means.
That has nothing to do with.
But that's not what Allah means.
Islam problem.
But once again, you just keep saying Islam problem like it's a fact because you said it is, and that's called white privilege. Just so we're clear.
Yeah. Okay. You can call it whatever.
No, but that's a fact because you're saying because you said it's true, therefore it's true. I'm asking you, what does Allah mean? You said Allah means God. Right? But then you said God and Allah are two separate things. So one, that's not even the true definition of Allah. So what does Allah mean? Do you need to be educated? Just say, SQ, please educate me. And I got, no. Now you said the truth. The truth is you don't care. You don't care to learn. You don't want to know. You just want to burn your Qur'an and cloud chase with your little bozo friends.
You don't.
That's the truth.
You're not very polite. But
so maybe tell me what's polite. What's polite? I would rather deal with you the way you deserve to be. Time on 1 second. I would rather speak to you the way you deserve to be treated, right? Not this dualism thing that you're accusing me of. I'm straight to you how I'm straight to you. You understand? It's not no dualism. If I'm feeling something towards you, you're going to know my feelings. With you, if you're talking about dualism, all of a sudden you couldn't answer my question. You're backpacking right now and you're saying, oh, you're not very polite, as if someone could just curse you out and say nasty things about you in a nice way, and that's okay. I'm talking to you the way you deserve to be spoken to. You're trying to bully the Muslims, and you're exposing yourself to be an ignorant man.
You won't get a very informative debate when you're not.
This isn't a debate.
And you're doing your best to prevent it from being a debate.
There isn't a debate because someone of reason and sort of sound mind has to be here. You have your own ideas of Islam, and that's what you're trying to portray. You have your own political agenda, and that's the truth.
I have a political agenda.
Yes, you do.
And so do Allah. I don't want his agenda to be...
Why? Because it doesn't fit with the white man's agenda?
White?
Yeah.
Norwegian agenda, the Western agenda. Our ethics is better than Islamic ethics.
Really?
So therefore we will not allow...
Really? What ethics?
Ethics.
Like what?
Like what's good and bad.
Okay, what's good and bad? So you're saying, where do you get your ethics from?
The Western ethics is based on the Christian ethics.
So your ethics are based upon Christian ethics?
Yes.
So are you against homosexuality?
And it's been...
are you against homosexuality?
For once, you should let me speak.
Because if you're saying your ethics, where do you get your ethics from? Once you're done doing the bhangra, what is your ethics? Where do you get your ethics from?
I'm explaining it, but you're keep
Go ahead.
Yeah. Enlightenment, Renaissance. Throughout the centuries, our ethics has formed into a set of values that is superior to Islam's.
No problem. So your ethics comes from the Renaissance and history.
Yep.
Okay. So your ethics come from a time period. Okay, decided by society.
Yeah, and that's also true with the Jewish ethics, because they have transformed and reformed over time. Islam has not, and
Islam doesn't need to because it's perfected. It is because our doctrine hasn't changed, our book hasn't changed, it hasn't been altered, it's been preserved through time. It doesn't need to. It evolves with the time while staying the same. While other people need to change their doctrine because it's been translated and changed. Do you understand? That's the reason. Yes. So, but your ethics don't answer the question of what's right and wrong. So, are your ethics okay with like incestual marriage and something? Are you okay with that?
It's political.
That's not a political question. If I'm asking you, are you okay with a brother and sister being together? That's an ethics question.
Yes. No, of course not.
Why not?
Because incest is it's bad for it's immoral. But it
says who?
Our ethics.
Wait. Who says that?
in Norway, we have laws against that.
So one second.
That's related to the fact that you will.
Your ethics came from, sorry about that. Your ethics are coming from society, right? In society, once upon a time, later on in the future, perhaps, if incest is normalized, then according to your ethics, that will be okay.
No.
Of course it will. Because if your ethics come from society in ages and renaissance, right? One day in 55 years or 100 years when incest is totally okay, the future version of you would be totally fine with that because your ethics change with what society believes is to be true or false. Because if you said it was Christian, you see the point. If you said it was Christian values, then one, not only does that not support the Christian values, burning someone's holy book is not Christian value as well. So your ethics is not okay. Your ethics also deals with noosing black people then, because your ethics according to society would lynch people of different colors. So I can see where you get those ethics from.
Our ethics is from Christ, his behavior.
So what's Christ-like behavior of burning someone else's holy book? Tell me. This is your shot, man.
He didn't say anything about that, but
about burning someone's book.
The major point here is that Islam's ethic is the quite opposite of ours, and we
see. You keep going back to that. You keep going back to that. You keep going back to that.
There are two things there, or rather three.
Make up your mind.
Islam is based on Muhammad's behavior, and that's bad. And Islam
okay.
has no golden rule, and that's bad. And Islam,
according to you.
And
according to you and your ethics that change with time.
And
your morals and values change.
Islam's ethics are based upon Allah's will, and that's bad. And
it's bad because you say so.
Yep. And if
ding 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 ding, it's bad. Don't point your finger at me if you don't want it back in your face. You gotta chill, okay? So you gotta remember something. It is bad because you say so.
Because my ethics say so.
Your ethics say so, which are based upon society. It's not based upon Christ, because Christ does not support the burning of Qur'ans.
So do you say? I didn't hear him say that.
So wait, so you're saying Christ does support burning Qur'ans? Christians support burning Qur'ans?
Burning Qur'ans, or more important, the Muslims' reactions to burning the Quran.
So that's what you want, huh? Clout chasing. You just want to do something to check people's...
interrupting.
Listen, don't raise your voice at me and think that's going to be okay. I'm not one of these dudes over here. You understand me? When you speak to me, when you when you speak to me, I'm civilized. But it's according to you, because I'm not letting you speak. You're not saying a whole bunch of things. You're saying things according to yourself.
And you always interrupt me before I can...
But let's get this straight. Don't raise your voice at me. Are we clear?
Yeah, raise voice all the time.
Oh, but no. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know.
Because we're not equal, because you're Muslim.
No, we're not equal because you're a hate preacher.
Fine. And the ethics of Islam, is based on Allah's will. And if you look into Sharia, it says clearly that the ethics is...
it's clear, but, yeah.
Reliance of the Traveler, A14.
Oh, he just quoted something, guys. Go ahead. But that means you're an expert because you quoted something. Go ahead.
It means that I've read the...
No, it does not. Reading and understanding are two different things, Large. Comprehension is different from just by reading.
You don't find your own definitions of Sharia. Sharia is bang.
What does Sharia mean?
Sharia says that you are interrupting me again.
I didn't even say nothing. What did I say? I just nodded my head.
Ask the question.
You look like, come on.
You asked that question. Sharia is based on, the ethics of Sharia is based on Allah's will, not your heart and mind. Because you are human and you can be wrong. That's what
Do you disagree with that statement that you're human and you could be wrong?
Of course people can be wrong.
Okay, so is there a possibility that you're wrong?
In many topics.
So wait. So is there a possibility? Because you said it yourself. If you're governing yourself with your mind and your heart, is there a possibility that you're wrong?
Yes, everybody is wrong. And that's why ethics in Islam is purely based...
You went back to Islam's ethics. If you're talking about because you see, the reason we're talking about equals or anything like that, your ethics are based upon history, time. You can't even say Christianity because you're giving Christians a bad name. You're even giving Norwegians a bad name. You understand? This is your own... No, it's not about a political stance. It is not in the natural human disposition to be hateful towards other people. You understand? This is something that you're going towards. It's not something that's common. We've spoken to the average Norwegian person. They're not about this. You're on some radicalized type of stuff, homie. It's not what the average Norwegian believes. And if you don't believe that, we could pull up someone right now, and someone would just look at you and be like, "Yo, that's not even true."
It looks like you're having a problem with the Quran burning, and this is.
Listen, I don't have a problem with that at all. You know why? Because you've helped raise and build a thing that you don't even want to be done. You're trying to like make sure that Islam gets eradicated. Yet you're building the largest Dawah center and Masjid in the country of Norway. So it's like you're trying to eradicate Muslims, but when a mosque comes, more Muslims come to live here.
How come you cannot argue without lying? You're lying it.
Go ahead. How?
You keep mentioning Muslims and Islam as it was.
Because a Muslim is someone who follows Islam, the doctrines of Islam.
Two different things.
No, it's not.
It's possible to hate Islam but not hate people.
It's possible to hate Islam and not hate people. Say that again so that you don't sound too ridiculous. Say that again.
It's possible to hate any mindset, any political system, without hating people.
Okay, so you don't hate Muslims?
No.
You just hate Islam?
Well, Allah hates me.
Dualism. You are afraid to say what's on your mind and heart. And you're talking about dualism of Muslims? You're afraid of getting canceled. You know if you said something crazy and this goes online. Yeah, so you hate Islam. Come on, say it.
Why should I say that?
Because if it's in your heart, notice your tongue is not going to say it.
Do
you hate Islam?
I don't hate anything.
Okay.
But there's good reasons to hate Islam.
So the reason you hate Islam?
No, I didn't.
You didn't say that. No. He just feels that.
No, the thing is that you don't know me. You don't know my heart and mind.
That's a good point you made. I don't know your heart and mind. And can I say you don't know mine either?
Can
you say you don't know mine either?
I don't know you.
Exactly.
And that's
so instead of us getting to know each other and actually sitting down together and understanding my beliefs and my values, if you're saying Islam is so new to Norway, isn't it possible that because it's so new and you hate what you don't understand, that's possible that if you don't sit with people who are Muslims, you're not going to understand what true Islam is?
The problem with your argument is that a Muslim does not define Islam. Islam defines Muslims.
So who taught you about Islam?
Allah and Muhammad.
Tama, so you went to the text directly.
Yep.
Okay, so if I were to give you a math text, right? Anytime you read a text in a school or whatever, you have something called a teacher, right? Who was your teacher? Because you don't read anything or study anything without a teacher. So who was your teacher?
Ibn Ishaq, the Tafsirs,
So you've sat with these people.
No, I read everything.
So you were just reading books according to your own understanding, and now you're just making developments. And because this is the point that I'm trying to make. Anytime you study something, you need a teacher to help you guide and instruct you through that. Who was your teacher that you sat down with to understand Islam?
Islam is simple. The Quran says Islam is simple, and it's so simple that...
Islam is simple?
Yeah.
Where does it say that in the Quran?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. But it's so simple that you know it's simple.
You
don't remember.
Because you know it's the Quran.
So, okay, wait, tell me. I know it's true. Okay, I know it's true. Fine, let's for argument's sake, I know it's true. So I'm asking you, show me where it's true. That you believe it's true. You said that it's in the Quran, so show me where.
Why should I show you?
Why should I show you? Because you don't know where. Because it's not a true fact that you're saying.
If we had this discussion via Zoom or something, I could look it up. But I don't. There's no reason for me to go to know the...
Because you have your beliefs, and there's no reason for you to know the Quran. Because you have your own belief. You already have your mindset set to what you believe. And you can't change someone who... And the goal is not to even change you. It's not even like that. Islam is so new in Norway, and that's why the dawah needs to take place. So there's not more people like you. Because the more people like you that exist, it's more hatred in the world, dude. This is not what the world needs right now. And if you're really talking about it, your war and the war that's happening is against deism, against God. And Muslims, Christians, Jews, the fact that we all believe in that one true God, that's what you think. No, that's what you think. No, that's what the same Quran that you weren't able to tell me that was simple. You see what I'm talking about?
I don't say it's simple. The Quran says...
Then show me where. Exactly. That's my point. Don't point your finger at me. Watch out. Watch out. Don't point your finger at me. Come on now. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to say, homie, right?
You're
saying...
And you know
okay, so tell me, prove me I'm a liar. Go ahead. So quote it, quote me, go ahead.
Okay, everyone who looks at this can look it up in the Quran and find that I'm telling the truth.
There we go. So we just want you to start Googling and Wikipedia and stuff. Okay.
You don't Google? Yeah. Don't people have a Quran?
They do?
Yeah, fine.
And that's
Then
why
this
we
discussion
need a
should be
DAWAH
open.
center. We need a DAWAH center in Norway so the hate preachers such as yourself are eradicated. If anything needed, domestic. This is
I'm not talking about eradicating Muslims, but you want to eradicate Norwegians.
I really.
Yeah, Muslims.
How so?
You said
By
so.
educating them about the fastest growing religion in the world and why you shouldn't be afraid or hate something. That's how eradicating someone.
You should have wanted to.
How is that making someone less Norwegian? If someone has Norwegian values, culture from here, learning about Islam doesn't take away what you already have.
If you are a Norwegian and you convert to Islam, you become an ex-Norwegian.
You become an ex, according to you?
According to yes,
According to you.
Because
According to
you have to change your ethics, your way of life. You have to
Like
change
what?
everything.
Like what?
And become
What do you have to change?
the way you think.
Well, how? Okay.
Thinking.
You have to stop thinking.
Yeah,
You have to.
yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Well, if we're talking about zombies and not thinking, it's kind of clear who's thinking and who's not thinking right now. It's pretty obvious. You're saying right now that by becoming a Muslim, it's like you become an ex-Norwegian. When that's according to you.
It's according to the fact that Norway and Islam has opposite ethics, and you cannot be a Norwegian if you don't have Norwegian values. And if you
What are Norwegian values? Go ahead, educate us.
and then ours.
Okay, what are those better values? Go ahead. What are they? Y'all be eating glizzies. I see you guys just eating a bunch of glizzies the other day. Are those Norwegian values?
Say again.
A glizzy?
What?
A glizzy.
What's that?
You don't know what a glizzy is?
No.
You love glizzies, I could tell. But look, what are Norwegian values and cultures? What is it? That's so better, right? According to you, like, what are these Norwegian values that you have to leave? Go ahead.
It's trust. Our society is based upon trust.
Okay, what trust? Trust in what? Trust.
Trust in your neighbor.
Okay.
Islam is not. Islam is based upon intolerance and hate.
Is it?
Yes.
And so in Islam, when it teaches you about loving your neighbor, right?
No, not your neighbor. Your Muslim brother.
Oh, good.
Not
You're gonna have to
brother.
quote that. You're gonna have to quote that because I'm telling you right now that Islam teaches us that to be kind to your neighbor, be good to your neighbor. You're saying that neighbor has to be a Muslim. See the difference over here? If you're talking about hatred, right? You're the one who's trying to instill hatred into people's hearts and minds, and you're trying to misquote Islam to make people hate something. So if you're really talking about the distinguishing factors between us, it's you're the one who are really trying to put the hatred over here, not Muslims. And this is clear as day.
Okay, fine. Now, for half an hour, you've been insisting that Islam has a golden rule. Where in the Quran do you find this golden rule?
But no, the fact that you say there is a golden rule is your beliefs and your values. I'm not saying there's a golden rule of Islam. You're the one claiming this.
I'm claiming that all.
You're claiming that all religion has a golden rule. Are you some theologist? Tell me, where did you study that? What scholar has told you about this golden rule system?
You can just by studying religion in.
You haven't studied religion.
In school.
You haven't. You haven't. I could tell because you see, when asked about this golden rule idea, you're not going to hear any scholar talk about the golden rule. And if there is a golden rule, you're saying every religion has it except Islam.
Yeah, that's right. And
According to you.
yeah, but
And by the way, you learned about Islam by studying it yourself and not having a teacher. And we already agreed to the fact that human beings who operate off their mind and their heart can be wrong.
Yeah, and you are trying to desperately to avoid the fact because you know that.
I'm not desperate.
You are not quoting the golden rule of Islam because there.
What is the golden rule of Islam?
There is no.
So what's the golden rule of Christianity?
Do to your neighbor as you want him to do to you.
What's the golden rule of Judaism?
It's the same. And Hinduism, Buddhism, it's the same.
It is accusing us of dualism. What do you think of so far what's taken place, bro?
It's a very good, mashallah tabarakallah. You have really exposed him and shown what kind of ignorant fool he is. And he doesn't know anything. He doesn't have an answer to any question whatsoever. Alhamdulillah, this event here will just be a reminder for the whole world that these kinds of hate preachers they don't have nothing.
Nothing.
There's no substance
Nothing.
in what they're saying.
Wallahi, and you know what, bro? This is, okay, he's trying to be like the main, he's trying to act like he's the main Norwegian guy. If there was some rubbish on the floor and I picked that up and I cleared it so that everyone could benefit from that, that's because Islam has taught me that I will get a reward for that. It doesn't matter if the person is a Muslim, an atheist, a Jew, or a Christian or Buddhist. If they are benefiting from that clear road because I helped them out with that, there is a reward for me in that. You see? Where's the dualism?
There's another, the dualism is the reward you get from killing. Take a look at chapter 9, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Allah buys